Hello and welcome to our next video, our next step on our journey through 12th night. This is a big one. It's the gulling of Malvolio. So, I've lost my pointer, there we go. Oh, the pointer is appearing, fantastic. So there's C3, there is, what is going on? Oh dear, well, there we go, right, sorry. Everything is under control, completely. I am in complete control of the technology, have no fear. Anyway, no more whittling on, let's dive into the scene. So we have Shakespeare setting up the comedy. It's been quite a long setup if you think about it, actually, over the course of several scenes and actually acts, if you think about it. And even in this scene, Shakespeare is, I was going to say, obviously he knows what he's doing. Shakespeare knows what he's doing. He's setting up the comedy here. Where's Malvolio? He is sad and civil and suits well for a servant with my fortunes. Because Olivia is sad, she thinks, oh, I'll call Malvolio because he's very serious and he's a kind of serious guy and I'm not in a very good mood, so that's perfect. I don't want anyone who's too frivolous and silly. Of course, Shakespeare is setting up the comedy of when he appears in his ridiculous clothing that we're going to see very soon. He's coming, madam, but in a very strange manner. He is sure possessed, madam. Notice here, Shakespeare is foreshadowing events that happen in the scene as well. No, madam, he does nothing but smile. Your ladyship were best to have some guard about you if he come, for sure the man is tainted in his wits. So you have Maria sowing the seeds here of concerns about Malvolio's mental health because he's behaving so differently. Go call him hither, I am mad as he, if sad and merry madness equal be. And this is an interesting point in the play about the nature of love. Love makes you do irrational things. You do things for love that you wouldn't do normally. You might do a 400-mile round trip for someone to pick them up, if it's a loved one. Like, you wouldn't do that just for anybody. You might have some close friends maybe you'd do it for, but that's just one example, and actually I could probably think of much better examples. There's people like giving up their lives for people that they love. There's huge things, but people do things that are irrational. Love changes your behaviour. And what you have with Malvolio is that it's love, but without context. Love without context looks like madness. And that's what Shakespeare explores in this scene. So we have Malvolio actually enter, and of course now he is wearing these yellow stockings that look ridiculous. How now, Malvolio, sweet lady, ho ho. So he's adopting this language of a lover, isn't he? He thinks he's got a sure thing here with Olivia. So it could be said this does make some obstruction in the blood, this cross-gartering, because they believed in the humours. They thought it would affect mood, like your circulation in your blood. It affected things. If it pleased the eye of one, it was me as the very true sonnet is, please one and please all. What is the matter with thee? Not black in my mind, though yellow in my legs. And this is again a reference to his yellow stockings. I think we do know the sweet Roman hand, and that is a very heightened, elaborate, hyperbolic way of describing how beautiful Olivia's handwriting is, which I think is quite a nice little line, which I didn't highlight, which I just thought of then as I was looking at it. Wilt thou go to bed, Malvolio? Now, this is a brilliant exploitation of, I didn't highlight this either, and I really should have done, exploiting of pragmatics, context and implied meanings. Shakespeare wouldn't have known that term himself. He would have thought of it as something else, like comic misdirection. He wouldn't have used that term either, but I don't know how he would have referred to it, but he would know what he was doing with it. But a misunderstanding over the lines and how they can be interpreted with different meanings. So Olivia's concern is, will they go to bed? Malvolio is out of concern for his health. You need to lie down, go and get some rest. But Malvolio, because he's got effectively like a different context programmed into his mind, he thinks this is really a sexual proposition. To bed? Aye, sweetheart, and I'll come to thee. You can read into that more if you want to as well. Anyway, God comfort thee, why dost thou smile so and kiss thy hand so oft? So that is him acting like a typical courtly lover, as in like a gentlemanly romantic man. He's acting in this way, like kissing his hands and everything like that. At your request, yes, nightingales answer doors. So talk to Maria there. He's got ideas above his station, and that is part of where the comedy comes from, is because Malvolio is acting like he's not a servant, he's beyond everybody else. And, you know, nightingale is a more special bird than a door, a jackdaw. So there's this natural analogy. There's lots of natural analogies in the play, aren't there, when you think about it? Be not afraid of greatness, 'twas well writ. So he's referring to the letter. What meanst thou by that, Malvolio? What, some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. And remember how clever that sequence is, because it's like an inverted incrementum. It's very clever. It's still incrementum, but semantically it actually becomes weaker. It's very, very clever. But this is Shakespeare we're talking about. Heaven restore thee. Remember who commended thy yellow stockings, and wish to see these cross-gartered. People in this kind of situation where Malvolio thinks that Olivia is in love with him, he sees any kind of interest. He misreads it, he misinterprets it. So again, it's this theme of perception, of reality. If not, let me see thee a servant still. Why, this is very midsummer madness. So again, love without context looks like madness. Enter servant. This is a big moment. Madam, the young gentleman of the Count Orsino's is returned. I could hardly entreat him back. He attends your ladyship's pleasure. I'm not sure why I made him sound like Mr. Bean, but let's just stick with it. So we have Violet arriving as Cesario, of course. So, good Maria, let this fellow be looked to. Where's my cousin Toby? Let some of my people have a special care of him. So remember I said about you can misinterpret things when you're this delusional like Malvolio is. Oh ho, do you come near me now? No worse man than Sir Toby to look to me. This concurs directly with the letter. So he's thinking, well, because Olivia has said Sir Toby's got to look after him, we think, oh, that means I'm really important because it can't be anyone less than Sir Toby. And then we have cast thy humble slough, be opposite with a kinsman, surly with servants, that thy tongue tang with arguments of state, put thyself in the trick of singularity. So he thinks this is an encouragement for him to be rude to Sir Toby and to adopt this more aristocratic persona and to accept this loftier social status that he thinks he's going to get. I have limed her, but it is Jove's doing, so he thinks he's kind of tempted her, basically. And Jove make me thankful when she went away now. Let this fellow be looked to. Fellow, not Malvolio, nor after my degree, but fellow. So he, again, misunderstanding the word. Shakespeare's exploiting a sense of pragmatics. Like fellow means just person, doesn't it? Or man, really. It means man, person in this context. And fellow, he's misinterpreting it as meaning equal. Because it's the idea, polysemic. It's good. It's a multiple meaning word. Why everything adheres together, no dram of a scruple, no scruple of a scruple, no obstacle, no incredulous or unsafe circumstance. A bit of incrementum there as well. But he thinks this all just reinforces what he's read in the letter. Which way is he in the name of sanctity? If all the devils of hell be drawn in little and Legion himself possessed him, I'll get to speak to him. So they think that, well, no, they don't really think it. They're playing up to this. Toby and Fabian and Maria are all now playing their own part. There's a lot about performance in this play. And they're now playing the part of they've come in to help him because he's mad. They're pretending he's mad. And when you're mad in that era, they would attribute it to demonic possession a lot of the time. I think probably all the time. And go off, I discard you. Let me enjoy my private. Go off. So Malvolio is adopting this aristocratic persona. Lo, how hollow the fiend speaks within him. So again, it's this I suppose in some ways it's almost like a form of gaslighting in some ways, isn't it? It's like this new interpretation of reality, but they actually know what they've done. The audience is in on this as well. So you've got dramatic irony as well. What man defy the devil? Consider he's an enemy to mankind. Do you know what you say? You speak ill of the devil, how he takes it at heart. So it's misinterpreted as, do you know what you say? Malvolio means, how dare you talk to me like that? I'm better than you. But then they're choosing to interpret it. They don't really believe it because they know they've tricked Malvolio. But saying, oh, well, look how he reacts if you speak badly about the devil. He doesn't like that, does he? Carry his water to the wise woman. That is because that's the idea of taking his wee to be looked at by the wise woman to see if he's mad. That's one of the things they might do in that era, especially if you have access to a more highly paid doctor, even though a lot of it was a mixture of science and superstition. Not all of it was very scientific. Then we have go him to say his prayers, good Toby. Get him to pray. My prayers mix. No, I won't. You will not hear of godliness. So you see what I mean about this gaslighting idea of really of redefining the reality, pretending not to know what Malvolio is really doing. Go hang yourselves all. You are idle, shallow things. I am not of your element. You shall know more hereafter. This is a great line. If this were played upon a stage now, I could condemn it as an improbable fiction. Brilliant line. It's postmodern before postmodernism existed. You might talk about it breaking the fourth wall. It always gets a laugh, this line as well, because it refers to the artificiality of the play. There's a special term for this, which script writers in the modern era use for films and things and TV. It's lampshade. It's either called lampshade hanging or lampshading. It's actually referred to as either of those things. You might have heard of the term. More and more people are aware of this, actually, when I talk to them about it. But it's a case of, if you're not familiar with it, it's drawing attention to a flaw or a cliche or something like that, and then making a joke out of it. Effectively, you highlight it. It's like saying, it may be a cliche, but life really is a roller coaster. It's like that. You can get away with using the cliche if you show that you are aware that it's a cliche. Anyway, that's lampshading or lampshade hanging. He's very genius has taken the infection of the device man, so they've now developed their plan further. Come, we'll have him in a dark room and bound. My niece is already in the belief that he's mad. We may carry it thus for our pleasure and his penance till our very pastime, so they can actually torment him further. So they've already embarrassed him here as well. But say, let's do this. Let's get him locked up, because Olivia already thinks he's mad, so we can get more mileage out of this. This is going to be great. Enter Sir Andrew. More matter for a May morning. Here's the challenge. So remember, Sir Andrew is making this challenge to Cesario. Is it so saucy? Is it? I warrant him, do but read. So this letter actually turns out, I'm not going to read out all of it, it's a terrible letter, as Sir Toby effectively predicted. It's really bad, and it's not very good. Fare thee well, and God have mercy upon one of our souls. He may have mercy upon mine, but my hope is better, and so look to thyself, thy friend, as thou usest him, and thy sworn enemy. It's just a really rubbish challenge letter. Again, they actually, mirroring what happened with Malvolio, there is a little bit of a sense of they kind of humour Sir Andrew about this as actually being a much more effective letter than it actually is. Actually is. I said "if" before. Then, go, Sir Andrew, scout me for him at the corner of the orchard like a bum bailey. So soon as ever thou see him, draw, and as thou drawest, swear horrible, for it comes to pass off that a terrible oath with a swaggering accent sharply twanged off, there's a good verb, gives manhood more appropriation than ever proof itself would have earned him. Away! To tell Sir Andrew to go and start threatening Cesario to back up this letter. Now will I not deliver this letter, for the behaviour of the young gentleman gives him to be of good capacity and breeding. This bit's good. He will find it comes from a clodpole, which means a complete idiot, basically. I will deliver this challenge by word of mouth, set upon a cheek a notable report of valour, and drive the gentleman, as I know his youth will aptly receive it, into a most hideous opinion of his rage, skill, fury, and impetuosity. This will so frighten them both that they will kill one another by the look like cockatrices. And if you know your Harry Potters, you know what a cockatrice is and what it can do. It can turn people to stone with a look. So they're setting up this battle here. I haven't highlighted anything here. Was I falling asleep? So we have Olivia and Viola. So we have actually the main plot developing here as well. Here, wear this jewel for me. 'Tis my picture. Refuse it not. So Olivia's really go for it. Here, take this picture of me to wear all the time. So Olivia's really got it bad for Viola. Nothing but this, your true love for my master. So Viola is still insisting that Olivia gets together with Orsino. Couldn't remember the name for a second. Terrible. Anyway, poor brain. We'll come again tomorrow. Fare thee well. A fiend like thee might bear my soul to hell. So she feels like she's being tormented. Then we get a little break there. And then we're back to the minor characters. Well, minor characters. And then they're going to see Viola as well, who's more of a main character. Supporting characters, let's say it like that. And they have this... Shakespeare constructs this brilliant scene where there's a duel that no one wants to fight. So like they don't want to fight each other. And there's a lot of hype as well. There's lots of build-up. Despite thy attack be in thy preparation, thy assailant is quick, skillful, and deadly. So Viola is really confused. So I don't know what I've done to upset Sir Andrew. What's going on? And then strength, skill, and wrath can furnish man withal. I pray you, sir, what is he? He is knight dubbed with unhatched rapier and on carpet consideration, but he is a devil in private brawl. Souls and bodies hath he divorced 3. So he's actually killed 3 people in these battles. Hobnob is his word. I'm not actually sure why I've highlighted it, apart from maybe I was thinking of the biscuits. But the idea of him being a tough fighter is nothing to do with the biscuits. They weren't invented. I'm not sponsored by Hobnobs. It should be good if I was. I am no fighter. I have heard of some kind of men that put quarrels purposely on others to taste their valour. Be like this is a man of that quirk. So I'm not really going to fight him. Viola is obviously, she's not really a man. She doesn't want to get involved in a duel because obviously he's thinking of gender roles of the time. You wouldn't have a woman being involved in a duel in this kind of way in that era. You know, I say that, but it may have happened somewhere. You never know with things. And anyway. So this is all the setup of this comedy scene where they're actually not really going to fight. You have nothing of that wonderful promise to read him by his form. We've got the same kind of reinforcement of this idea of Sir Andrews being a fearsome fighter. I am one that I'd rather go with Sir Priest than Sir Knight. I cannot know so much of my mettle. So this is about kind of playing roles. You know, I'm more of a man of peace rather than a man of war. So they come in. Why, man, he's a very devil. I've not seen such a farrago. So this is, again, now Toby presenting to Sir Andrew what Viola is like and saying, oh, he's furious. He's a really dangerous fighter. So they're, again, hyping up this comedy battle. Well, they don't know it's a comedy battle. For the audience, it's a comedy battle. Then Sir Andrew is not a fighter himself because he goes, let the matter slip and I'll give him my horse, Grey Capulet. So maybe we don't have to fight. I'll give him my horse and then we can all just forget about it. And a little joke, Marry, I'll ride your horse as well as I ride you, as in how he's taking loads of money off him. So they go to have this fight. I've highlighted this because it's actually a man's part joke. I'm careful with my language on YouTube. A little thing would make me tell them how much I lack of a man. That's an aside for the audience there. A little thing. So anyway, you'll have to join the dots. Then they're about to have this battle, and who should appear? A bit like Batman. No, he's not really like Batman at all. It's Antonio. Put up your sword. If this young gentleman have done offence, I take the fault on me. So notice again as well, there's lots of things here about characters not having any kind of context. They don't know what's going on. This guy just appears and said he's going to protect him. It's so confusing for Viola because, of course, Antonio thinks it's Sebastian. Pray, sir, put your sword up if you please. Marry, sir, will I, and for that I promise you I'll be as good as my word. He will bear you easily and reigns well. Again, there's no context there because he doesn't realise that Viola doesn't know that he's offered to give him, her, anyway, I'm getting confused, give the horse over, you know. So we have the officers have come in as well because they recognise Antonio. I arrest thee at the suit of Count Orsino. No, sir, I don't mistake you, basically. Though now you have no sea cap on your head, he knows I know him well. This comes with seeking you. So they know that he's a wanted man. They know that he's a pirate. And so that was my phone going off at a bad time there, distracting me. It was only spam, so I'm not having anything to do with it. Antonio wants his money back because he could use it to help him get out of this situation. He could pay his way out. He could effectively pay bail. But of course, Viola doesn't know, what money. So Shakespeare is exploiting all of these. Like, there's no context. People aren't aware of what other people know, and the audience, of course, is dramatic irony because we know everything. We know all of the misunderstandings. We can understand it. We've had it used in a comedy way, but actually here, you might feel here, oh, this is a bit worrying for Antonio. Like he's a nice guy. He's looked after Sebastian, and off he goes. And something else important here as well, and here's half my coffer. Viola is trying. Well, I can give you some money. I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't got your money. Then, of course, what's interesting here, Antonio, how vile and idle proves this God. Thou hast, Sebastian, done good feature shame. And Shakespeare having Antonio appear here, interrupting this comedy fight, mentioning Sebastian's name, brings it back to the main plot, where now we've got this idea of, Viola's going to realise Sebastian is alive. It's big view. And that's what I mean about, we've known as the audience, we've known Sebastian's been alive for ages. Since the start of the play, almost the start of the play, we've known for ages that he's still alive. Virtue is beauty, but the beauteous evil are empty trunks overflourished by the devil. So again, that's about appearances being deceptive. Off goes Antonio, who's taken away in custody. Oh, prove true that I, dear brother, be now ta'en for you. So if I'm mistaken for Sebastian, that means he may be alive. So that is really nice, isn't it? So off she goes. A very dishonest poultry boy, more a coward than a hare. His dishonesty appears in him leaving his friend here in necessity and denying him. So again, Shakespeare's playing with this perception of reality because they're wrong. He's not a coward. Well, I say he, she. She's not even a man. Cesario is not a coward, but just doesn't know what's going on. There's no context. So Sir Andrew says, I'll go after him, beat him. Do cuff him soundly, but never draw thy sword, because if the officer's around, that means he could be, in more trouble. I dare lay any money, it will be nothing yet. So let's see the event. So I don't think it'll come to anything. They won't actually fight. So anyway, that is the end of that scene. And actually, it is the end of that act. So join me on the next one. Thank you very much. Like, comment, subscribe. Look at my other videos, all that other good stuff. Have a good day or night, whatever you are doing. Have a great one. Goodbye.